Hi, I'm Merrill Kazanjian.
Today I'm going to share with you my process for making an illustration. I used markers, colored pencils, and a blending stick. So here we go. Part 1, I start out by just staring at what I'm drawing. I start to notice what lies underneath as well as what's on the surface. I noticed that there's quite a bit of the color orange underneath and yellow and green, in addition to the obvious red that's on the surface. But as I said, step 1, or part 1, I make sure that I fill in what's underneath, and I'm using the markers to do that. Part 1 takes significantly less time than part 2. I'm putting the green in on the top, and I'm going to start looking at that shadow on the side, and I'm going to fill it in with a darker red. I look at the markers that I have and I try to match the actual color that the apple is. It's tough to do with markers because you really can't mix them, but you'll see what I do in the second step to compensate for what the markers lack. So I just tied everything together with that red, and now I'm finding a darker red, and I am putting another layer on the shadows. And that's step 1. Step 2, this is where the magic happens. I start to use the colored pencils. I'm using a gray right now because I'm seeing that really strong highlight towards the top. And I put in pretty thin dusting of gray. I'm putting yellow on top of the gray. I'm not pressing particularly hard. Dusting is kind of the wrong word. That would be something with charcoal. Colored pencils are wax-based, but I'm not pushing too hard. I'm pushing kind of light and just getting a little bit of color down. And I'm probably going to add a few layers of color with the colored pencils. I'm adding the highlight in. I'm trying to see everything as shapes, and I see that bright white shape on the left-hand side, on the apple on the left, and I'm putting it on the apple on the right. And you'll notice that I'm going to use actually several different reds, for this drawing that I'm doing. And I'm tying everything together. I'm working on the shadow now. It's a really dark red that I'm using. It's like putting a puzzle together. I'm putting the different pieces together and making sure that there's something that's common that's tying them together. And I'm looking to the picture on the left for reference. I just filled in the shadow that's left by the stem. And in a second you're going to see me pick up the blending stick. And then it's going to really start to pop. That is the blending stick. And if you notice, I'm going in the opposite direction of the cross-hatching that I'm doing. Cross-hatching is putting down line after line after line that gives you shading. I'm going in the opposite direction. So I'm kind of like wiping them out. But again, this blending stick is just wax. So, it's the same stuff that the colored pencil is made of. And it's just adding, the binder of the colored pencil with the pigment that was left with the colored pencil. And it kind of ties everything together and really starts to pop. Now, hopefully you agree with me. Once you put that layer down, or rather, once you finish a layer with the blender, you can put another layer right on top of that with more colored pencils. You don't want to go too crazy, but 2 layers is, that's not a problem with this. And this is some of my other work. If you want to see more of my work, go to my website, merrillk.com, and please consider subscribing to my channel on YouTube. Thanks for watching the video, folks.